Good morning. Welcome to Tales from a Tarot Card Reader. Now, I really had to go in my vault, so to speak, to find these readings. When I tell you after I read for you, and please don't be insulted, I really do forget. I just do. Unless you come to me consistently and often, I don't remember. And most of you will attest to this because you'll say, yeah, I called Denise up. And I'll say, did I ever read for you before? And they're like, yeah, you read for me 2 weeks ago. And I go, yeah, I don't remember you. All right, so what we're going to do is, again, if you're new to this, we clarify our deck as I do the stories, because you got to be doing something, and you don't want to be looking at my face 24/7. I mean, come on. So what you do is, to clarify your deck, you take your deck and you put it in order by box order. Okay, so in other words, you want to do all of your swords, ace through king, pentacles, wands, and cups. Okay, and then you do the fool through the world. Then you put them together in a box. You can stick them on a windowsill where the sun comes in. You could put a crystal in them, whatever you want to do. If you wrap them in cloth, whatever. But the whole way to purify them is to put them in order. Okay, so that's what we're going to do as I tell the story. Now, if you've been following me, my stories have all been, riding off into that sunset sort of thing. Now, we know that doesn't really happen in real life. Now, come on. Cinderella and Snow White and a few others have kind of ruined the narrative of how our life is supposed to be. Nobody saves us. We save ourselves. Okay? You all have the ability. You all are wearing the red shoes. Okay, so about 10 plus years ago, I had a young girl come to see me, and she was, I'm going to say, late 20s. And she was pretty much ripe for the picking. She wanted to get married. She wanted to have a baby, the usual thing, thinking her biological clock is running out, so on and so forth. And she had somebody in mind, somebody she was with, and I had the yuck feeling when I read for her. And when I say that, it's like, yeah, you can have him if you want. And I remember that distinctly because a year ago, because I still see her, she said, that always rings true in my head, what you said to me that day. Now, this is going back 10, 12 years ago. I said to her, as I was reading the cards, you can have him if you want, but the universe is saying it might not be a good idea. Okay? I don't tell people what to do. I just tell them what I see. We all have free will. You take it from there. But when things are not meant to be, what usually happens is kind of the worst case scenario. So anyway, I'm not going to go into details about this person. He had a lot of struggles, I will say that. I thought he was a nice young man, and I felt sorry for him because I did meet him at one time. But he wasn't for her. And she was asking for trouble. But I did say to her, you can have him if you want. Okay. So she did end up marrying him. And they had a child. And things were a little rocky. And at this point, she comes to me for another reading because she wants to have another child with this man. And again, I say to her, you have the choice. The universe is giving you the choice. If you want to marry him, you could. If you want to have another child with him, you have another child hanging in the balance to have. And that's all she wanted to hear. She didn't want to hear the part, but you're asking for trouble. Like this, we're not advising you to continue on with this, okay? This is where our free will comes in and bites us in the ass. So anyway, she did get pregnant. A couple months later, she ended up getting pregnant and having another baby. And this was the time where he got more involved with drugs. So unfortunately, it got bad for her and the children, with arguments, fights, him not working, outside affairs, so on and so forth. And she had to walk away. She left, took the kids and left. And his life, unfortunately, spiraled more. It was bad. It was custody fights. It was everything. And bad divorce, bad. And he was spiraling, which was a shame because I felt he was a good person. He just fell into a bad place. So she came to see me while she was going through this divorce, and I remember looking at her, and I remember the reading distinctly, and I just said, he was trying to get custody of the kids, which was, a joke, but, and his parents were getting involved, so on and so forth. And I just looked at her and I go, it just ends and you're fine. And she's like, what do you mean it just ends and I'm fine? I go, it goes away. There's no more fighting. You get what you want. You're getting that house that you had with him. She goes, oh, I don't know about that. And he died about 4 weeks later. He OD'd. So it was a rough ride for her. She's with someone now, thank God, who's really good. But unfortunately, she had to go take this rough ride. So that's when stories don't always end like fairy tales, okay? The good news is she got 2 great kids, but kids got no father now, and she's got to live this life. And that's a story for today, my peeps. All right, it's Saturday and it's rainy. It could be snowy, but it's rainy. I hope you all have a good day, and I hope you enjoyed this story.